As a full-time working mom, I know a few things about how to get and stay organized. So stay tuned for some tips that will help you have a more work-life balance using Evernote. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Boss Tip Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're new to this channel, consider joining the community. Hit that red subscribe button and the bell notification for weekly videos that will help you grow yourself and your business. Let me give you a little bit of context. So my day is pretty full. My tasks include writing, making these YouTube videos, upkeeping with my business, and then my personal life as well. I pick up the kids from school, we do homework, we spend time together, I cook, I clean, and a lot more. And as much as I'd like for you to think that I'm some sort of rock star, I'm really not. I'm far from that. But over the years, I have adopted a system that helps me stay organized and somewhat sane. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. But before we get into all of that, I want to share two things with you. First, most of the concepts that I'm going to share with you today come from David Allen's book, Getting Things Done. This is one of the best books I've read on productivity. So if you want more context on anything that I share today, make sure to check out his book. I will leave the link in the description. And then the second thing before we get started, I'm going to be using Evernote today. I want to show you the process using Evernote, but this can be replicated with any other app. Any app that you already use, you can do the same thing. Even notebook, paper, and pen will work. Alright, so let's get into it. I'm going to share a 5-step process on how to get organized with Evernote, and then I'll end with 4 of my very best tips on how to stay organized over the long run. Step number 1 is to do a mind dump. The first step to getting organized is to lay it all out on the table. You need to physically see everything. So this step is going to entail you getting everything that you're holding in your head onto a paper or an Evernote notebook. If you're new to Evernote, make sure to check out my beginner's tutorial. It will show you how to actually use it in more detail. So if you feel like I'm moving too fast, make sure to check out that video. Create a new notebook. I named mine Get Organized. You can name it whatever you want. We're going to use this notebook to capture everything that has your attention. So that includes all thoughts like business ideas, what you need to do for your personal life and business, worries, needs, wants, books to read, places you want to travel, things you want to get, and any other agenda. Get it out of your head and onto this list. Allow like 20 to 30 minutes for this. Even if you think you've fleshed out everything that currently has your attention, if you stick around for a few minutes, more ideas will come. Step number 2 is to organize this information into notebooks. Start with master notebooks like personal, business, recipes, books to read. These master notebooks will hold all the things that are closely related to that topic. And then you can add notes under these master notebooks. To get your imagination going, here are 2 of my master notebooks and how they're broken down by notes. For my personal notebook, I have these 4 notes. To do. This is a list of things that must get done, like doctor appointments and other errands. Would like to do. This is like a someday maybe list. The projects on this list are things that I want to do one day, but they don't require my immediate attention. Need. This list holds all the things to get as soon as possible, like shampoo and pens, laundry soap, ink or paper for my printer, etc. Would like to get. This is where I write down all the things I wish to get one day, like a new camera, computer, or wardrobe. For my business, instead of having a master notebook, I created a stack stack of notebooks. A stack in Evernote is basically just a compilation of notebooks. It's helpful when you want to break things down even further. In this stack, I have notebooks I use the most, like my YouTube, blog, and social media. To create a stack, simply grab and drop any notebook on top of one another to make it into a stack. So I can click and drag this email notebook here and make it part of the business stack by simply dragging it and dropping it. This YouTube notebook, I use it to list and jot down any marketing tips, video ideas, and I also keep templates. In this social media notebook, I keep ideas for posts, articles, passwords, and images to upload later. My blog notebook contains resources, tools, inspirations, and also marketing tips. Step number 3 is to write it all down. Don't try to remember everything that comes across your mind. As you're going throughout your day, as soon as you think of something, put it in its appropriate notebook. I find it easier to have a notebook name to be filed. The hashtag symbol will ensure it will always stay at the top for easier access. If I'm in a hurry, I just dump the note there and file it later. When you realize that you need to purchase ink for your printer, dish soap, or get a birthday gift for your kid, when you remember about something you must do to your website or ad, a meeting, a client, a phone call you've been meaning to make, when you think about an idea for your blog, your YouTube channel, or business, write all that down as soon as it enters your mind. If you're new to this organization style, all this may seem tedious to you to write everything down and organize it this way, but the purpose of this is to have a clear mind, because when you're clear-headed, you can focus on the task at hand. When you're spending time with your kids, your mind won't be trying to remember about the phone call you've been meaning to make. And same thing, if you're with a client and you're working, your mind won't keep trying to remember to buy snacks for your kids' field trip. You'll be able to be more present and focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on at that moment. Step number 4 is to start small. After you do steps 1 through 3, initially you'll feel clear-headed and full of joy. But eventually, all these lists and things to do will start to feel overwhelming. Like you, I wish that we could just snap our fingers and have all these things done. But until that's possible, the next best thing to do is to just start small. Make a checklist in Evernote and focus on organizing one thing at a time. For big tasks, focus on one per month. You can focus on revamping your website in January and research for your book in February. For smaller tasks, you can focus on one per week. Declutter your house 1 week and then your digital devices in the next week. Final step is to review your system weekly. So once a week, go into your Evernote app and review everything. This will make sure that nothing is slipping through the cracks throughout the week. I do this every Sunday. I delete notebooks I don't need. I file all the notes in the to be filed notebook. Make this step non-negotiable. If your system for capturing all your stuff is cluttered, that kind of defeats the purpose. Alright, so those were the 5 tips to get organized, and now I want to share 4 tips that will help you stay organized in the long run. The first tip, and probably the most important one, is to do less. Part of getting organized is to remove everything that is not important. So make an effort to cut things and people too out of your life that aren't serving you. Everything that consumes your attention does so because you gave it permission. Or as Danielle Laporte says, everything that's on your plate got there because you said yes to it. Where is this true for you? Figure it out, because the more narrow you can make your focus, the more successful you will be. The more garbage you cut out of your life, the more room there will be for what's truly important. As a creative entrepreneur, I struggle with this. I am tempted to say yes to everyone who asks for a favor and to say yes to every business opportunity that comes my way. But I have a vision for what I want my life to be like and for what I want my business to be like. If you must have your toes dipped in multiple puddles because you want to explore, that's fine. And that's very common in the beginning as you're trying to find yourself. But just be conscious that when you do this, your focus will be scattered and therefore your work won't be as good as it can be. Eventually, you will have to just pick one thing to focus on or reduce the amount of attention you give to each thing. Tip number 2 is to learn as needed. If you're just starting a YouTube channel, chances are you're consuming all the information you can to learn about how to be successful on YouTube. And that's what you should do. But you shouldn't be watching videos about how to promote your videos or consuming all this information about how to do collaborations or giveaways because you're not there yet. It's like you're on step 1, but you're learning about step 10. This will be too overwhelming, and chances are that when you get to that step, you're going to have to consume the information all over again because chances are you forgot. Instead, create a notebook in Evernote to store all your resources and then outline the steps you need to take and focus on one at a time. Consume information as needed. This will help you stay organized in your learning. Tip number 3 is to use the 5-minute rule. For big projects, it may be a good idea to save them for later, but for smaller projects, it's better to do them right then and there. The idea is to not let things pass your hands twice. If it takes less than 5 minutes to do a task that is already in your hands, go ahead and do it right then and there. If you've checked your email and there's an email that you can answer right then and there, go ahead and do it so that you don't have to save it for later. When you save all these small tasks that you can take care of within that moment, then it will turn into this huge overwhelming mountain of things to do. So don't let things pass your hands twice. If it takes less than 5 minutes, go ahead and do it. Final tip: automate. With so many programs and apps out there, there are a lot of daily tasks that you can put on autopilot. Set up spam rules for your email so that it'll automatically go into spam if the system detects it to be spam, and then you don't have to worry about reading through it. And you can also set up social media posts to go out automatically with buffer. Another neat app for social media and such things like that is the IFT app. With the IFT app, you can set up rules and automations, or what they call recipes, to automatically save photos from Instagram, to save them into your Pinterest board, to save stuff to your Dropbox, to post your YouTube videos to Facebook automatically, and so much more. The IFT app is really neat and it has something for everyone: parents and teachers, coaches and fitness enthusiasts, and a lot more. So check that one out. All right, and that wraps up this video. I really hope you found it helpful. If you did, hit that thumbs up for me and share it with someone who may need it. In the comments below, let me know of any tips you may use or have to stay organized. Let us moms and entrepreneurs know about it because we can all use these tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.